Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're working on the Vette again. This time, installing a Corsa passenger side oil catch can. Now, the purpose for a catch can is to basically it does exactly what the name implies, and that is it catches oil that is passing through the positive crankcase ventilation system. So any engine within the crankcase itself builds up pressure once you start getting aeration from the crank spinning in there. And that pressure has to get relieved. So you need positive crankcase ventilation, right? That's exactly what PVC is. PCV. And so in most engines, you basically just have a breather system that goes from the induction into the actual crank itself, deep down into the crank. And a lot of that stuff is vented out, but then it kind of comes back through the engine, through the induction side. And the only drawback to that is you can build up oil on the throttle body, on the back side of the blade of the butterfly, as well as in the intake tract itself. And then over time, it'll actually build up on the back side of the valves, none of which you want to have happen. So it's a lot easier to just prevent those problems. And what I recommend, this is just me, I've been putting catch cans on all of my vehicles, all of my performance vehicles or forced induction vehicles forever. But basically, if you have a modern engine that has direct injection, which this engine does, then you're going to end up building up a lot more on the back side of those valves with just standard port injection alone. And so that's just one reason enough for me to actually install a catch can so that I can prevent that oil from working its way through the induction side and then gumming up the back side of my valves and just getting on the back side of the throttle plate. Because on the back side, when all that muck gets on the back side of the throttle plate, it disrupts airflow. So what we're gonna do today is just install this. It's very simple. It doesn't take much time. I'm gonna take you guys over and show you what the stock system looks like. If you guys look in here is the side that gets hooked up into the air induction, and then the opposite side of this, I already went ahead and disconnected it, goes right down into this little fitting here, which goes down into your crankcase. So this gets removed. You know, basically you just take this out, just have to fish it through here, and there's your piece right there. So that's the stock piece. And so I'm just going to get rid of this, and what we're going to do is install a new set of lines, but with the catch can in between the two. So let's go to that point. All right, so the first step in this installation is installing this bracket that comes with Corsa. These two holes right here correspond to two holes inside the shock tower on the passenger side. So basically you just get sit above, right against it, butts right to it. You pop these two bolts in that it comes with right here. And then once that's secured, then you can attach the can from the bottom. So let's do that first. So I'm going to try to position the camera so you guys can actually see where it is that I'm installing this. If you see this panel right here, just below it, there's two holes right where my fingers are. Right in there. And I'm going to try to zoom in on that a little bit more if I can. Right there. So you've got two holes right there. So I'm just going to lay this in here and start threading through these bolts. Start by hand and then get them buttoned up. All right. So now I'm going to pick the camera up, show you guys. This is it right here. So now that this is installed, it's loose, but I'll tighten it up. That's installed there. The can gets placed underneath, and then there's 3 bolts that hold the can in place. Then you run your lines. All right, so the next step is to take the catch can here, and you can see there's an opening on one side and an opening on the other. You're going to be installing these 90-degree fittings, and the recommendation is to use PTFE or this kind of white, little sealant around the threads so that it doesn't leak. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right. It'll look something like that. Then I'm just going to screw it in. And there's other types of sealant you can use. I just chose to use this because I have some. But you're just going to hand tighten this and then use an 11/16 wrench to give it a good tight all the way. Essentially, you want it to be facing out just like that. So I'll give it one more spin, making sure it's nice and tight and sealed, and then I'll install the other one. All right, so the next step is to take the hoses that they're providing you with and put this fitting on. So you just push it in, kind of make sure you twist it all the way, and then this is going to replace the press lock that came with the original piece. You do that on both of those pieces. Here's the other one that I just applied that to. You're just pushing it in. It's not too hard. And then what's going to happen is we're going to install this can next, and then this piece will go right here, just like that, and the next piece will hook up there and cross. So essentially you're just going to be plugging everything back in place, and the main difference is that this catch can right here is going to be catching all the oil in this little cylinder. And it's got like this little filter up top to mitigate as many fumes as possible escaping from this unit. And so that's what we're going to do next, is install this. All right, so I've gone ahead and attached it. I'm going to zoom this camera in so you guys can see a little bit easier. So now here's your Corsa Catch Can. These are the 3 bolts that hold it in place, and here are your 2 fittings. One here, one here. And so this actually is adjustable, but I'm gonna adjust it here. I'm gonna plug one side in here. The other side's gonna go down there to the engine, which is gonna be right there. So let's get going with that. First, I'm just gonna finish fastening this. Kind of give this a little final twist here. And this is a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench. Okay, now that that's in, what we're going to do is route this shorter one here on this side, just like this, all the way up, and then take the other end and click it in. So you can see how this looks right now. Let me bring this in so you can kind of see it. This is the hose right here. So it'll go from this side down to here. The other one's going to go from here down to there, and then you're done. So that's pretty much it. It's a really simple install. I'm going to just do the other side. All right, guys. So this is the finished product. Here you have the bracket. Here's your catch can, the 3 bolts that hold it in place. Here you have one connection going to the induction side, this other connection going down to the engine side. You can see the connection right there. Okay. And I'm going to swing around the other side of the engine so you guys can see it from this side. There you go. That's it. That's the installation of a catch can. All right, so that concludes the install of the catch can. As you saw, I just kind of showcased what it looks like in its finished position. And is a catch can necessary? Not necessarily. It's just something that I've always done to every one of my performance cars. The biggest reason, as I mentioned earlier, is I just don't want to have oil build up on the backside of the throttle butterfly. I don't want it to accumulate in the induction tract, and I don't want it to accumulate on the backside of the valves. So this kit is not too expensive. It's about a little over 200 bucks. I bought it from Paragon Performance. It's a pretty well-known Corvette parts supplier. And if you guys are interested in one of these, just go to paragon.com and you can find a lot of different parts there. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I tried to give you the step-by-step. It's not too difficult, pretty straightforward, easy install. And appreciate all your support. So we'll keep doing content with some installs as parts arrive and such. And I'm still working on getting the break-in miles completed on this car. I'm at about 300 miles. Got to get to that 500 before I can go full tilt on it. So, all right, well, till next time, this is Motors and Medicine signing off. Have a good day.